All right, Rob, you were telling me right before the show about a movie that's been canceled that you were disappointed about. What's the news that we've got?
Well, I mean, firstly, the worst thing is, until this morning, one, I didn't know they were making this movie.
Neither did I.
I didn't even know this was a thing. And two, reading the article made me piece together these things I'd seen but not really looked at, that Michael Keaton was going to play Batman again in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'd seen this and I thought, oh, it must be related to like the Flash movie, because, I'm guessing they're going to do like multiverse stuff and, time travel, whatever. I thought, oh, they're going to bring him in for that. But no, apparently he was going to be in this as Batman.
Yes, and this being Batgirl.
Right, exactly. Batgirl, yeah, I realise I didn't say that at all.
No, no. But is this, I actually don't know. Was the person who was going to play Batgirl, was it the same as in the last movie? Probably not.
No, I don't. Is there a movie that she's in? I can't remember.
Oh no, you're right. It was. I'm thinking of Catwoman. I'm thinking of Catwoman from the last Batman movie. I'm not.
That's it. Yeah. It's not confusing at all.
No.
So no, this. So yeah, they were making this movie. I feel like maybe I'd heard about it, but I hadn't really been paying attention. And who among us hasn't spent $90 million and then gone, no, it's not worth it? Because that's what they've done. They've cancelled it. They're not releasing it on HBO Max or wherever it was supposed to be. Like, that's it. This article says that if they wanted to get it up to cinema level, theatre level, I'm not sure what that means. It was going to double the budget or something. So they've just cancelled it. Like, that's it.
I'm a little surprised. It must be very, very bad. I mean, the one quote that I read was basically like it was irretrievably bad, and that they had tested it with audiences that said that. And yeah, I guess I get it. But on the other hand, and $90 million is a lot of money. Obviously, this was slated to be on HBO Max, not to be in theaters. Although maybe this was. I don't know. There are a lot of bad movies that make their way to streaming video. I'm surprised that this one didn't make it, even if it wasn't going to be an A-tier movie.
Netflix do that twice a week. They put out a movie that's terrible.
Well, exactly. And and you know what you do? You watch them for a little while and you shut them off if they're terrible. But there's a Wikipedia page with unreleased American movies, I guess, and it's a pretty short list. But now it's got another. It's got Batgirl. So I don't know. DC seemed like they had their act together there. The DC movies seemed like they were on an upward trajectory with some of the recent ones. But I guess this one would have dragged the whole lot of them down.
Yeah, I mean, even the quote from the spokesman says, I'm just going to quote this: "The decision to not release Batgirl reflects our leadership's strategic shift as it relates to the DC universe." Okay, I'm glad you've explained that. That doesn't even mean anything. That means nothing to anybody. It is so strange to me. You've got DC, the entire collection of characters that they've got. The heroes as well as the villains, because the villains are way better than anything Marvel's got. Mm-hmm. And they just made such a mess of it.
Yeah, they really have, and they have problems with their Flash character now, because the actor has been getting himself in legal trouble quite a bit. Have you seen this?
Yeah, they've been. I don't know. They were like assaulting people, and I feel like there was something about like a teenager that was being flown on a private jet. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole mess. I have to assume that movie's not coming out either.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where it's like a bad look for the studio, I think, because it's been in the news so much. But anyway, yeah, DC is a little bit of a mess. Well,
yeah, I will say that the one thing that has bothered me about this, even though I didn't know, is that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, because I kind of would have really liked to see that again.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't believe for a second that this movie's not going to show up at some point. unless something truly terrible happens, this movie's going to show up eventually.
You sure would think so. I mean, it's got to be worth something to put somewhere, right? I mean, it's, if nothing else, it's filler at this point for HBO.
Yeah, like, I'm sure it's, like you said, if the screeners have shown it's not a great movie, but it can't be that bad, surely. I mean, unless you've really made a complete hash of it, it can't be the worst movie. Like, just sell it to somebody. Like, we might as well see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if they're willing to sink $90 million and walk away from it, I gotta believe it's pretty bad, Rob.
Yeah, that is true. No, you're probably right. I think I'm just wishing at this point.
I think so too. I mean, conceptually, in the abstract, if you take away all the details, yeah, a Batgirl movie would be great. I'd love to see a Batgirl movie, but a Batgirl movie that is so bad that a company's willing to walk away from $90 million, probably not a movie I need to see.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, I'm still putting my money down now that it will get released at some point, but I think it will be either, it'll be a long time, or it'll be like some kind of bonus feature for a DVD or Blu-ray or something weird.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll find out.
I mean, that's the thing about that. That's the thing about a story like this. Why it seems surprising is because at least even when there were in the days when things went straight to DVD, there was still a cost associated with the movie, and that they had to print the DVDs and ship them around the world and sell them in stores. So, even then, bad movies made their way to shelves as straight to DVD releases. Now they don't have that distribution cost on top of it. So it's really kind of surprising, I guess, in the world of streaming that it doesn't appear somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the facetious part of me just think, you released Justice League on purpose twice. Like, the least you can do is release this movie.
Yeah, so few of the DC movies are really very good, I think. I mean, there are some exceptions, but it's not the best. Anyway, Rob, we should move on and talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because there was a Pokemon Direct this morning, my time, and I watched it. And this is an open world RPG. It looks pretty interesting. I know you're not a big Pokemon fan, but we've got some new starters here. We've got there were some new Pokemon who were revealed. There's one called Fido, and Fido is a dog-like Pokemon that's made of bread. The dough part is spelled like bread dough, not like Fido.
Excellent.
All right.
Oh yeah, look at the little dough dog. That's
the little dough dog. He's supposed to be very soft, according to the direct. And there are a couple of legendaries in this game that you can ride around the area, which they look like motorcycles. They have basically motorcycle tires on them for when you're going over land, but they can also fly and they can go on the water. And so that's, I think, that's kind of your fast travel method in the game.
Sure.
And there are, I guess, 3 different storylines to follow in this game. One of them is kind of a traditional gym-based, challenge thing where you're trying to end as the champion after going through 8 different gyms, and the other ones are more of a hunt where you're collecting items and things. Not a ton of detail around that yet, but plus there's a multiplayer mode where you can do some of this stuff. You can do it with up to, I think, 3 other people at one time. So my sense of it, looking at it, is it's a pretty big world. You have a lot of flexibility in what you do. There are new gimmicks for gameplay. There's this Terra type thing that you can use to both offensively and defensively with your Pokemon in battles. It's going to add a new element to the competitive play, from what I understand. I don't follow competitive Pokemon closely, but these are mainline games. That means that they're going to be part of competitive Pokemon, as well as just games that, I don't know, normal people like me, or regular people who aren't into competitive play, can play just by wandering around. And I like the idea of an open world, right? Because I like those games where you just can kind of go at your own pace and do your own thing and kind of make it, make the story your own a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it always seems very slow with the Pokemon Company, but it
Yeah.
does seem like they're moving them forward ever so slightly. You know, you get a bit of open world, and then there's now we've got the branching stories, or the different sort of tracks.
Right.
Okay, that's no complaints from me. It's nice to see some improvements.
It feels like an evolution of what we saw with Sword and Shield. It's a little bit, along those lines. I will say that I think looking at it, you never know until you actually start up the game and see how it looks. But I think, how sometimes Pokemon games, the art isn't the greatest. At least they tends to be kind of blocky and chunky in the backgrounds and things, not the best high resolution art. This seems to be better than most, so I think that's a plus as well.
Yeah, I mean, I am looking at a screenshot of Fido, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can't believe this is coming out, in 2022, because it still doesn't look
I know.
Amazing. But,
For
that's
the Pokemon
because...
company. For Pokemon, it probably is amazing, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying, absolutely. It does not feel like a 2022 game. It fits better because it's on the Switch, I suppose, which only goes up to 1080p. But yeah, it's not the highest
then, I sit there and I think, okay, imagine I'm in charge of the Pokemon Company. I release these games and they sell a gajillion copies. Even without doing any sort of graphical updates or gameplay updates for a lot of years, and I can kind of see why it ends up like this, because there's not really any incentive for them to push it forward in any huge way, because they're still going to sell, all of the copies of this game.
Right. So that's coming out soon. I will mention that I started playing Stray a little bit. I know I'm not going to have any spoilers because I know you haven't played it yet, and we're waiting for the physical copy. I really only got a little bit into the tutorial because I got interrupted. We've had guests for the last couple of weeks, and so I started playing it a little bit. It looks gorgeous. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play. It's part of the PS Ultimate thing, which I'm doing now. So, I mean, it didn't cost me any more. I think I explained last time why I signed up for that. It was only an extra $40 on top of what I already had. So, yeah, it's a great looking game, and I plan to play a lot of it in the next month or so.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, as soon as that physical copy turns up, I'm just gonna sit in front of the TV for a couple of days, and just blast through it, because I can't wait to play it. To be honest, I keep seeing screenshots and videos, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to play this.
Right. I think, Rob, that last time I mentioned very briefly pickle pizza. I think I did.
And I think you did, and I think I made a suitably disgusted noise.
Well, it's turning up all over the place. From what I read in it, I found an article. I have to find this for you. There's an article in the Washington Post, I believe, all about pickle pizza and how it's becoming a thing, at least in the U.S. So kind of interesting. I don't know. I have not tried a pickle pizza yet. I will admit I have not. I've been sampling a lot of Southern food, which includes a lot of pickles, but I haven't had it on pizza yet. So we'll have to see about that. Maybe I can find it someplace down here.
Yeah, I have just found the article. It says pickle pizza started as a novelty, but now it's a big deal, because obviously that's their headline. I like that. I kind of like that more than I should.
Yeah. So, I guess it's catching on. Pickle pizza. It usually is. I think it usually has like a ranch dressing for the sauce. So it's kind of a white pizza. It's not like, marinara based or anything like that. And it's got some sort of cheese and pickles. And, one of the things that I've had while I've been in North Carolina are fried pickles. Now, fried pickles, you can get them in a lot of places, but I've found that they're done particularly well down here, especially at some of the barbecue places. And they're really good. Then you dip those in like a ranch dressing usually.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not a massive fan of pickles. And like this picture I'm looking at is... it's the ranch sauce, and then it's pickles and onions, which again is not something I'm a huge fan of. So I don't feel like this is a pizza for me.
All right,
I'll be interested to know what you think.
I'm a big fan of the pickle, Rob. I love a good pickle. I really do. And there's a grocery store near me. You can go there and you order a sub sandwich at the deli, bring it home for lunch, and you can get pickles on it and all sorts of other stuff. So I like to get pickles on my sub sandwich too.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. We all like different things, but I mean, I have been using my my uni pizza oven quite a lot. In the past few weeks.
That will seem like you're all set up to make the very first UK pickle pizza.
I can tell you now, that's not going to be me.
break your countrymen into the pickle pizza, I don't know, trend, and make it's a fad.
I think this might be treason. I'm not.
Okay, all right. Oh, hey, you know what I did the other day? We've been going out to dinner and trying new places, and I was on vacation down in Savannah, Georgia, which is a coastal city that's really very old and very southern, and it's very nice. Enjoy that city a lot. And I went out to dinner with my family, and when the check arrived at the end of the night, it had a QR code on it and said, you can pay by scanning this. And I thought, oh, this place is kind of busy. Maybe this is speed up leaving because we wanted to get going. And I scanned it, and it was an app clip. It actually pulled up an app clip for an app called Toast, which I don't know if it's outside the U.S., but Toast is usually, a lot of times Toast is in those checkout kiosks you find in things like coffee shops that where someone's using an iPad to sell coffee and pastries and things. So I was familiar with the company and the app, but it's not like an app that I had on my phone or anything. And so I scanned the QR code, the little mini app clip, which I guess is like, I think they have to be under 10 megabytes. It popped up almost instantly. It let me use Apple Pay to pay for my meal, add the tip and all that stuff. And at the end, it says, your server will be notified that you have paid. You are free to go. And so you just walk out, which, it completely eliminates that back and forth of waiting for the person to either bring out the payment terminal or take your card in the back like they do in the United States to first steal it and then charge you. And you just pay right there and walk out the door. It is one of those things where, like, when you first went to an Apple store and maybe did the self-checkout with the Apple Store app, it felt a little bit like walking out on your bill in the restaurant, like I was stealing, but it was incredibly convenient because it was just like the person dropped off the thing, paid, took about 10 seconds, and I walked out the door and I was done. It was good. But it's kind of telling that it's been, I think, 2 years almost with app clips. And this is really, I mean, I've seen a couple of app clips in apps where they were more of a novelty than anything else. This was the first time I ever used it where it was like truly useful, where something popped up really quick, let me pay with my Apple Card and then just walk out.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I haven't seen an app clip, I don't think, anywhere. And I have been, I've been paying with, QR codes and stuff, because obviously since COVID, there's a lot of like, table service literally, through their apps and
right.
Scan a QR code and you order on this website. But I've yet to see an app clip. But I wonder if, I guess it really just depends, because it's, it's development time and stuff like that. And,
yeah,
it's only iOS as well. So I guess it's, depending on the markets you're in, maybe it doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's pretty cool to hear like somebody's actually used one and it actually did what it was supposed to.
I do wonder how it would work if you're in you're not an iPhone user, because it wasn't an app clip QR code. There's special ones that can be generated for app clips. It was just a regular QR code as far as I could tell. And I don't know, maybe if you had an Android phone, it would send you to a website to pay or something on the web. But yeah, I have talked to I was chatting about this with some people in the Club Mac Stories Discord today. And they had the same reaction that you did, which was they had used various, web apps and things like that to order and pay for food at restaurants during COVID, but hadn't used an app clip. And while those things I think are more convenient, I think sometimes those web apps can be a little clunky and hard to use.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. And the app clip, though, really was very streamlined because it was fully native and quick. So I did appreciate being able to use it. So I don't know. I'll be on the lookout for that again. But like I said, I mean, since we moved to North Carolina, I've actually eaten out a fair amount. And that is the very first place I've ever seen it was down in Savannah, Georgia, of all places. So, I guess we'll see. I guess It was kind of a touristy area, so maybe, I don't know, maybe they show up in those kind of places first. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Well, yeah. I mean, I'll probably keep my eye out for some more QR codes. I mean, I'm not sure how many more restaurants I can go to, but yeah, I think that'll probably do us for this week.
All right, sounds good. I'll talk to you later, Rob.
Yeah, speak to you later.